What shoes should you start out with? You just got into lifting. Hear everybody talking about squat shoes. What should you use? I'm personally also a big believer of do not have a $200 pair of shoes and a 10-cent squat. So you might have to hold off on this kind of stuff as well. You want to make sure you have a good squat first before you drop tons of money on a fancy pair of shoes. So your options, you got flat shoes, and then you have Olympic lifting shoes, which have a heel. Which ones are better? Which ones do you need? A lot of it's gonna come down to mobility. So if your ankle mobility is really stiff, sometimes even your hip mobility is really stiff, an Oli shoe is gonna be the move for you. So if you have stiff ankles and you have a hard time getting optimal squat positions or even just squatting down in general, the Oli shoe is kind of like a way to create mobility that you don't have. The angle is gonna allow your ankle to go more forward with the heel and allow you to get down more. If you're one of those people, use the heeled shoe. Now, let's say you're not one of those people. You can get into great squat positions, and you don't need, the race heel to do so. A flat shoe is a great option. Another option you could do, let's say you're strapped for cash and you cannot afford to spend even $100 or something like that on an Olympic shoe. You can use a plate and put your heel on the back of the plate, and that artificially kind of raises your heel and creates a similar effect to the Oli shoe. This is a great option when you're first starting. I don't recommend going super heavy with this though, because you could possibly slip and you don't want to hurt yourself. But when you're first starting out, the weights aren't super heavy. It's a great way to kind of create that feeling. It's also a great way to test to see if you do need Olympic shoes. Make a video of yourself or have someone watch you stand on the plate, and you can see if it makes a difference. If you squat down, you're like, wow, this feels a lot better. You probably need the Oli shoes. If you stand on it and you're like, this feels like I'm just going way too deep, I'm leaving skid marks on the ground, you probably don't need them. You probably can just use a flat shoe. The thing that's cool about Oli shoes is there's different levels to how tall the heel height is. The taller the heel height, the more ankle flexion you're gonna get. It will allow you to get deeper. These are the Romaleos. These have a very tall heel. I think these are about 3/4 of an inch, close to an inch. These are pretty tall. If you are super stiff, these are probably a good option for you. Now these are the Adidas Powerlifts. These are very low heel, it's about a 1/2 inch. If you only need a little bit, these are a good option as well. They can be a little more stable feeling than a flat shoe sometimes too. So sometimes having that stability benefit is awesome to have on its own. Flat shoes. The Sabo Goodlifts are fantastic for flat shoes. They have a metatarsal strap, which helps like lock in your feet, gives you lots of stability for a flat shoe. I will say though, some of the best flat shoes, funnily for me, are like Vans slip-ons. Chuck Taylors are great, but my absolute favorite is one I'm wearing right now, which you can use them with pretty much everything. I use them for riding my motorcycle, hiking, training. I could use them for everything. The Barefoot Bruins, these are just incredible. The wide toe box in the front, it allows me to spread my feet and allows me to grab the floor. They're also fantastic for your feet health in general, just because they replicate being barefoot. Because of that wide toe box, I can really grab the floor, especially on lifts like squat. Barefoot makes like the absolute best shoe. I like the boots because then I can wear them for everything. If you're gonna use flats, get the Barefoot. I think that's the absolute best, you can't beat them.